what I found out really early on was that the vast majority of rules are arbitrary. That's what because my boredom led to like random sets of risk taking. Like, like, I don't know, like when I was a kid, we'd like sneak out of the house, TP somebody's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we would ding the doorbell enough times for them to come out and call the cops. And then we would let the cops see us, and then we'd try to get home. It was only fun. The TPing was only fun if you were trying to get home while being chased by the cops. Otherwise, it wasn't fun.
Did they ever catch you?
Yeah, they did.
Was that fun too?
Well, I was 12, right? So, like, what are they going to do?
I don't know.
They don't do anything. Like you TP your, this girl you like in your 6th grade class. You go and TP your house because you like her, I guess. And then the cops get called. And then you get picked up. Yeah, and then they bust you for curfew.
Ooh.
Curfew, and then they take you home. And then your parents either care or they don't care. My parents didn't care.
Oh, lucky you.
My parents didn't care, and so that was that.
So you had a lot of freedom. You had a lot of freedom.
Yeah, freedom
and boredom. That's a hell of a combination.
I never got in trouble either. So like my parents I never got grounded or anything like that. So freedom and boredom and ADHD, man. Yeah, it was a tough lot, man.
That's how you get a Drew Littlejohns.
Yeah, something like that. And then mix in a lot of like religious ideology.
Oh, yeah, can't forget that.
If you forget about the religious ideology, you might think that I used my freedom and stuff like that and did bad things, but I actually didn't. I actually didn't do that. I think that was probably the worst thing. That was like my rebellious phase, I guess.
Yeah, TPing's not that bad.
No, but the intentionally getting chased by cops is bad.
I mean, it's not good.
It was exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't be too mad at a kid for doing that. Maybe pretend I was, but I don't know.
I had made the decision a long time ago to not pretend to be mad about things that I'm genuinely thrilled about.
So would you be happy about that? Like, wow, my kids do things other than play video games. They get chased by cops.
I mean, like, no, maybe not being chased by cops. You know what I mean? Yeah, my kids. Yeah, no. If you get in trouble at school, like that's not a bad thing necessarily.
Oh, good. That's important because I was a perpetual new kid growing up. And some of my teachers just actually sucked because they're human beings and maybe they're just not so great, or maybe they just didn't like me genuinely. Like they just personally were like, I don't like this fucking kid and nobody else does either. Yeah. I think actually in 2nd grade, everybody hated me and so did my teacher. So when I got in trouble, it was like, I can't help it. Like nobody, and I didn't even care. I remember this in particular. Like I realized that like I was at the absolute bottom of the hierarchy, and even the teacher had it out for me, and it was extremely liberating. Once I figured that out, it was almost like I was at the top because nothing could possibly bother me at all. I'm like, if everything is so comically rigged against me, then there's no point in even trying at all. And then once you're not trying at all, you can't even really fail. And
No, it's correct. I remember I was at home. I was in San Luis, from the beach in San Luis Obispo in California. And I was there, and I used to get really, really, really angry at these like college girls who drove black Jettas. This was a thing. I get really upset about this because I know that like their parents are paying for their college. Their parents bought them the car, right? All this sort of stuff. And so it was like, I would be so upset that these other people's parents always paid for everything for them. And that they got to have this like carefree existence. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was at the very bottom of the hierarchy because I was, super poor. I had no skills. I could not make it through college. I couldn't make it 2 months through college. For my ADD would just wear me out and make me so bored in class, I'd just stop going. And then one day I realized that I had nothing to lose because I was already at the bottom. It was right there. So I went and hacked all these computer programs. And I was like, well, who cares if anybody catches me with all these computer programs? And then I started doing all this marketing, graphic design and stuff like that. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to pick up the phone and start dialing for dollars. So then I started cold calling a lot because I had nothing to lose. And then you play like that for 15, 20 years and you will have a lot to lose.
Makes sense to me.
It is liberating. The day you realize you've got nothing to lose, what kind of surrender is that? Because it's not, did you feel particularly dejected when that occurred?
Well, I felt great, but before that, I did not feel great because I was attempting to reconcile the situation, I think. Like I still cared whether people liked me or not. But then once I realized that they truly didn't, this wasn't me just being insecure. This wasn't a conspiracy. Right. I was genuinely hated. It was like letting go of something, letting go of like a burden of having to do anything.
What do you think it was that they hated about you?
I was new.
I mean, did you wear like weird t-shirts? Were you wearing like Big Johnson shirts or something like that?
I don't know. I was poor and it was a rich school. And I think they could just tell, even though my mom made sure I had decent enough clothes and everything. I think they could just smell the fact that I'd never been to Paris.
They could smell poverty.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was some of that.
That's that whole argument in George Orwell's book, Road to Wigan Pier. His entire premise of the Road to Wigan Pier is that the poor stink.
Like literally?
The poor smell. And that was the whole idea, that you can try to get rid of all of the socialists, try to make everybody socialist, try to distribute the wealth equally, you can try to do all this sort of stuff. But the truth is that the poor people smell. They just do things differently. They do things differently than the rich. And so poor people stink.
Yeah, I guess I stunk a little bit. And I was pretty smart, and that was kind of all I did going for me. So I just remember like I was eventually just really mean. Like I'd make fun of people for not being able to read and stuff like that. And that felt really good. I mean, everyone was shitting on me all the time. So I remember getting in trouble for that. And I would like tell my parents, I'm like, you do realize I'm just constantly being shit on even by the teacher. So like, how am I not supposed to like fling some shit back? Yeah. They actually understood that. Okay. So
all the trouble I ever got in was always for ADD stuff. It was always for like, just really dumb, random, talking too loud, whatever stuff. I never got in trouble for doing anything nefarious, but I was always at the top of the list for people who got in the most trouble.
Yeah, kind of similar. I didn't really ever do anything that bad. I mean, not that bad. Well, no, in high school, oh, Jesus. All right. I did something pretty bad in high school. I guess now I have to say it. So
it's statute of limitations. You're fine, dude.
Yeah, I'm good. Oh no, I was caught. Yeah. New kid once again, essentially. And my mom forced me to get a job delivering newspapers. And I didn't want to. I was like, hey, I'm already still like the new kid. I don't need to be the new kid paper boy too. I'm just not into this. And she's like, listen, I'm a single mother and I work for the paper company now, and you need to do this and you'll have pocket money and it will be good for you. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll try it. I will try it. I did it for a couple months. I fucking hated it. It was horrible. I actually ended up owing the paper company money at one point. I lost money. I couldn't stay out on Saturday nights and hang out because I had to wake up at like 5 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, right.
It was horrible. So I was like, okay, I quit. And she's like, nope. No, you have to keep doing this. And I was like, okay, are you sure? I'm like, this was so I put porno in the newspapers. I added a new section. Yeah. And she was like, why didn't you just throw them off the bridge or something into the river? Why did you have to do that? I'm like, I don't know. Because
but you told her, I want to quit. And she's like, no, you have to keep.
Yeah.
So where did you get the porno? Old crusty box out in the forest or something? Or
no, the internet. I had a color printer.
Oh.
And I had a friend who was kind of evil. He was there too. I can't blame him, but he definitely
no.
didn't help.